the world. Every Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. CST, live on Facebook and YouTube. Join us as we discuss pertinent issues that relates to you and I with your host, Alinko.
Welcome to this episode of the Progressive Mind Show. My name is Senna, aka Alinko. We want to apologize in the start of the Sunday show. It's supposed to be 4 p.m. We're 30 minutes late because we had to try and work in the background to get you our guest all the way from Ghana. And due to schedules and the time difference, we as hard as we tried to make sure that we got you the personnel for this evening's conversation. We were not successful, so please pardon us. I'm sure you all used to the Progressive Minds delivering week after week with this interesting topical issues. Today is January 29th, 2023. It's a beautiful Sunday, and we would like to just engage our audience this afternoon. In the absence of the Director of the Diaspora Affairs in Ghana, Mr. Ababio, Mr. Kwesi Ewa Ababio, aka Dallas. We would like to engage you all this afternoon for for a few minutes, so we can just discuss the issues of the diaspora, the year of return or the beyond the return, the trips to Ghana by a lot of diasporans this past December. So just join us as we engage in this engage this afternoon regarding the diaspora. But we'll take a short break. We shall be right back after this. Thank you so much for joining us back on the show. Hey, Naila, thank you for joining in. Again, our sincere apologies to our audience for the late start in today's show. As I said earlier, before we went on that quick break, we wouldn't be able to get a speaker in the person of Director Kwesi Ewa Ababio, who is in charge of diaspora affairs in Ghana in the president's office. We want to just look at what some of the activities that took place this past December 2022, December, when it comes to Afrochella. And then the event that was the other event, I think, is the Black Star Line event organized by Vic Mensa and Vic Mensa and Chance the Rapper they are Chicago natives who are also very keen on the diaspora, keen on the diaspora issues, very keen in connecting us as a people here in the diaspora and on the continent. Again, for if anyone has been on the platform yet, I know Naila is here. We'll just wait for some of our guests. If you join in, feel free to chime in. Feel free to share your opinions about people going to Ghana, people living here. I mean, diasporans going to Ghana every year to celebrate or to engage in the festivities. The most popular one now is Afrochella, and now we have the most popular one that has been in existence since 2019 is Afrochella. Now we have Black Star Line, of course, not competing with it, but an extra platform to boost tourism in Ghana and also to enhance the connection of the two worlds, continental Africans and Black people in the diaspora. So this is a very powerful tool. It's a powerful, both are powerful platforms that if Ghana leverages or Africa leverages very well, can go a long way in not only bridging the two worlds, but also exchanging resources that are abundant on both sides. My take on the diaspora, my take on the Afrochella parties and the festivities that have been going on or that have gone on this past December is that we as a people needed something like this. Uh, it's been a long time coming that the two worlds come together to engage in happy moments such as these two platforms, Afrochella and Black Star Line. Um, we know major artists, major superstars from the United States in the person of Dave Chappelle was there, Erica Badu was there. I know Charlemagne the God was also there. He was also in Ghana this year, this past December. Some of the other stars, I hear Future was in Ghana too. Yeah, I think Future was there too. Um, and then there's this other rapper that I'm trying to recollect, Meek Mill. Meek Mill was also in Ghana. But Meek Mill's story, I think we would have to engage in on another time, on another note, right? Because his situation was far beyond what a lot of Ghanaians expected. I was somewhat disappointed in some of the takeaway from his visit to Ghana. I mean, being the first time being in Ghana, McMill, a superstar, someone who has been on the world stage when it comes to pop culture. I feel like that. I feel like setting some of his activities could have been toned down a little bit, but who can blame him? Here is an American superstar um, who had long wanted to go to Ghana, and um, I think that having been there himself the first time, I feel like he perhaps got carried away over excitement and engaged with a lot of activities with the people on the streets. He also took time to perform, but then I think what he got a lot of backlash from is his video clip that he took at the president's office and which he circulated on his social media platform, which caused a stir in the Ghanaian community. Because the thing is, Ghanaians revere their presidency, we revere our culture a lot. And for the fact that, and nobody gets to go to the president's office or the seat of government to engage or to do a video shoot and then puts it on the on YouTube on social media. You just can't go to the president's office and have the pulpit for your musical video or your musical content. It doesn't happen. I've been a Ghanaian and African all my life. I have never seen it. You may be close to the premises, but in the office behind his pulpit, this is the first time. And so Ghanaians were very, very disappointed that how could the seat of government be delegated in such a manner. Now, it's not to say McMill is not qualified to go there, but it's such a platform for it's a pulpit of power. It's a symbol of government, symbol of authority for the entire country. And you can equate Ghana to, let's say, a state like Illinois, right? Because Africa has countries, the United States have states. And so imagine an African artist or a Jamaican artist coming to Chicago, and then they go to Springfield, they get to meet the governor, and then they do a video clip in there, and they put it on their social media, or put it on social media for the whole world to see how much access they had to the president or the governor. And it's equivalent to that, right? And the context in which the video or the clip of the president's pulpit is not, I would say, it's very not so appropriate, because that musical content is mainly a youthful, something is the content is targeted to the youth, more so millennials. And you wouldn't say that that is a content in which you would want to see a, a pulpit of authority, in any African country associated with, right? Because there has to be diplomacy, there has to be distinction between diplomacy, there has to be distinction between what is ethical and what is not. The people of Ghana, people of Africa, take their culture and the hierarchy in government or in high position or in politics very, very seriously. And so it felt very disrespectful or disrespecting to a lot of Ghanaians for its seat of government being used in that manner. So this caused a stir. You know, politicians, parliamentarians, had their say on this matter. The citizens also had their say. I'm not in Ghana currently, so I don't know to what extent this issue has been dealt with or handled at at government level, but I know at least in the public, in the Ghanaian communities, it has been a conversation, a real conversation. And so I think that this calls for an address, and this calls for an awakening. I think McMill himself would have noticed that that was a mistake. I saw on social media somewhere that he had regretted his action. Don't quote me on that, but I think I saw it somewhere. And I'm also assuming that him being a reasonable person and seeing his action, his innocuous action, causing this type of confusion in Ghana, I believe that he had taken steps, or at least had some remorse to his action in Ghana. And so we hope that that would not necessarily linger and hinder some of the progress we've made so far. Because understand this, the relationship between Africans and African Americans has been so muddied and so um, has been so deep. I mean, in terms of our separation, it would take a long time for us to connect. Thankfully, the connection has begun, but we definitely do not want issues like this slowing down the progress we made. We don't want any side issues that would continue the momentum that we're building when it comes to our connection. And so I think this is something that we all have to pay attention to. Hopefully, as I stated earlier, McMill would find a way of making amends. Either through uh, a letter of apology to the Ghanaian citizen, the Ghanaian community. First of all, to the presidency, and then to politicians in Ghana, members of parliament, MPs, okay, the legislators of Ghana, um, and maybe to the elders. I would say the uh, Council of the Traditional Elders, and then the people in Ghana in general. It's not a must, but it will be a good gesture. A good gesture showing maturity, showing decency and respect to the president's office. Now, if the president, I don't know, but I don't think the president will say, hey, you can take this clip of my office and put it on social media. I don't think so. Okay. If that was the case, well, Ghanaians did it were not privy to this information, so Ghanaians will act differently. The relationship, remember, is not necessarily between political. It's not between the political individuals and African Americans. The relationship and the bridge we're trying to build is between the people of Ghana, the people of Africa, and the people of the African American community, Caribbean community, and to a larger extent the South American communities. Okay, so as we on the quest of achieving this, both I think um, McMill's management team would have to take steps. Again, I'm here to investigate, find out, call them, do my research to find out what has been done. So I'm not going to say they didn't do this or that, but I'm saying it will be the right thing to do. If they've done it, that's kudos to them. If they have not taken steps to make right or at least address McMill's action in Ghana in regard to his video clip that he took at the president's office behind the president's pulpit, and put it out there on social media as part of his video clip, okay, or his musical clip or musical content. This is just, I mean, this episode, I mean, if you just join us, it's not necessarily, didn't really prepare to do a take on McMill's visit or McMill's action in Ghana. But we were supposed to have interviewed director Akwesi Ababio, aka Dallas, who is the director of diaspora affairs at the president's office in Ghana. We're supposed to have him here at 4 p.m., which is 10 p.m. Ghana time. But because of time difference and due to um, other engagements, we were not able to have the show this evening. But we're working to see if we can get him. We're definitely going to get him. This is not the first time. He's been on the show, I think, about twice already, and so this is not the first time for him. So we'll definitely get Director Ababio, Akwesi Ababio, Director Akwesi Ababio, on the show. But one of the things that I really missed this evening, haven't missed him on the show, is we're going to talk about his interaction with of course McMill, his take on the McMill issue, and then Dave Chappelle, his interaction. I know they had a meeting with Dave Chappelle. So what was the meeting all about, and what is the way forward? What is the way forward? Are these African Americans going to Ghana or just to participate in the festivals? Are these superstars going just to be part of the party, or are there a specific plan laid out for diasporans returning home to have a proper stay, a proper uh, arrangement for them to be able to integrate in the society and be part of our development, not just part of our development, but be partakers of the natural resources that are abundant in Ghana and across sub-Saharan, actually across Africa. And so this is very, very important. The conversation about our return and the diaspora office is I know it's not only based on tourism. Yes, it brings a lot of money to the tourism sector of Ghana, but I think the most important thing is how can our brothers and sisters in the African American community, the Caribbean community, benefit off of the natural resources that Ghana has? Because currently the Chinese are benefiting a lot. Indians and Lebanese are benefiting a lot. and other foreign nationalities, because they identify and know about the resources. I think the unfortunate gap has been our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, especially within the African American community, not being part of our development. Of course, it's not to their fault, but we all know that they have not been part of our economic development. And so this is the time, now that they're going home, we need to provide a channel, a pathway to so they can bring their resources and be part of the management and exploring our natural resources, because there are a ton of them. What Ghana doesn't have, and most African countries don't have, is capital and that intensive technological ability, the technology and the financial capacity that Ghana and other African countries lack is the reason why one of the reason why we're lacking a lot of opportunities, economic opportunities. But guess what? Other nationalities have identified that there is a gap. There is a ton of opportunities. So they bring their hard-earned foreign investment or foreign capital to Ghana, and they invest in, whether it's in the mines, whether it's in farming, whether it's in farming and agriculture, the same. Um, whatever whatever they can find opportunity in, whether it's in health, even health and education. Okay, there are tons of opportunities here that African Americans can take their money to Ghana or other African countries and turn it over. Okay, because again, if you don't do it, other nationalities are willingly doing it. Lebanese have shown for a long time, for centuries, for decades, I must say, that they know they've seen and know the opportunities that are in Ghana. And so they put their money there. They come there, a lot of Lebanese in Ghana and other African countries investing in a lot of the hotels, a lot of the real estate are owned by these nationalities, these folks. Indians own a lot of retail stores, a lot of businesses. So why not? Why not our African American brothers and sisters? This is very, very crucial. I know Michael Blackson, the comedian. He also opened up a school for free. He built a school and has opened it to the public. I think a school for kids, and he's opening it to the public for free. That is very beautiful. I know he has a plan to sustain it. Imagine if we have, several of these happening. So, as I said, there are tons of opportunities in Ghana and in Africa. It's now African Americans' turn to take advantage, but it will even be better if governments of African countries facilitate this movement, make it easy for the transitioning into Africa, owning land, giving them all the necessary resources to cultivate this land and develop this land is what I think governments of Africa should be doing for our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, specifically African Americans, Caribbeans, as a way of restoring them, as a way of giving back to them what was taken away from them forcibly, as a way of compensating them, as a way of welcoming them back home, as a way of reparation. Okay, because this whole conversation of our connection doesn't have to be a one-way streak. I know there is a huge conversation about Africans, no, America paying reparation to African Americans. That is a massive conversation to be dealt with on this platform another time. But I believe that Africans owe reparation to African Americans first. We Reparation has to start from us. It is my belief, it's my opinion, for all the good reasons. And so my call My encouragement to presidents, leaders of Africa, African countries, traditional leaders, decision makers, businessmen, um, traditional, yeah, I mentioned traditional religious leaders, youth advocates, and just community organizers, all stakeholders that are active in doing things, doing major things in uplifting and developing Africa, even social media influencers. My call to you is that we encourage these decision makers, we encourage the giving of land to African Americans, large spaces for free. They don't have to pay for it. And then there's the plenty, if they want extra, then they can buy. But we need to make allocation for them, so that they can come and feel at home. They can come and not only feel like, oh, we came to Ghana and we felt Ghana, but they can come to Africa and feel like they never left. That is what I believe should be done to our brothers and sisters when they come home. It shouldn't be, oh, we have some foreigners who are here and we'll take them through Ghana, or we'll take them through some tourist attraction sites so they can see what we have. They can see slave dungeons, they can see some waterfalls, and just go through the system, enjoy the nightlife in our cities and in our towns in Africa. But all that is beautiful, all that is needed. The major thing that needs to be done is some of the things that I just mentioned. And I feel like more can be done. And these are the conversations that I want to encourage with 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 the Ghanaian African communities here in the diaspora and back at home. And it's a humble appeal. It's a humble appeal to our governments, leaders of African countries, traditional leaders, those who have the wherewithal, the power to make decisions, to say, let's look at the core of this reconciliation, this reaching out, this return, beyond the return conversation, to say that it is also very important that our brothers and sisters feel very comfortable by providing some of the things that I mentioned earlier. Thank you for joining us. So far, we have a few people in addition to Naila on the show. Demetra Drexel is here. You passed a comment. You said, we AAs will never get reparations from the US. Why not from African continent? Yes. Demetra, you can call in. Let's have a conversation. I'd like to have a conversation with you. Let me see. The number is 815-277-5047. 815-277-5047. We're live on the Progressive Mind Show. If you want to call in and share your opinion, please go ahead and do so. Demetra, this is a powerful question. Yes. Why not from the African continent? So that is the call now of the Progressive Minds. That has been our call, but it is still going to be our cause. We're going to push this agenda as much as we can. We will use what we have to call on the decision makers to offer land. We've started with the southern, one of the southern kings, one of the southern region, the south. Okay, let me put it this way. We started with a king who hails from the southern part of Ghana, the Anglo Kingdom. His name is King, His Royal Highness King Nyaho Tamaklo the Sixth, His Royal Highness King Nyaho Tamaklo the Sixth, or Togbi. Togbi in the Ghanaian language simply stands for king. Now, let me also take this opportunity. I know in Ghana there was this conversation about chief, king. We all address the kings, a lot of them as chiefs. But we have to learn this, that chief, there isn't actually a difference between a king and a chief. The only thing is that a long time ago, the British brought this division of king and chief. Again, that's another conversation we'll be going into. Because look at it this way: that the Ewes will call their kings Togbi or Efia. If you translate that to English, it is king, not chief. It's king. not chief. The Ashantis will call their kings Nana. It is chief. Okay, it is king, not chief. Okay. The Northerners in Ghana will call their kings Yana. Yana does not mean chief. It just means our king. So how then do we have chief and king in the English language? Remind you, Ghana we didn't speak English. The British brought English to us. So prior to English, how did we call these kings or these royals? Right? Well, we didn't call them kings, we just call them our kings in our local dialect or in our language. But so that's a conversation to be had. But yes, we have a caller on the line. I think it's Dimitra. Dimitra, welcome to the Progressive Mind Show. How are you today?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So go ahead. Tell me why you're calling to the show today.
Well, I just wanted to chime in on the conversation that you're having.
Yes.
Regarding those in the diaspora returning back to Africa, and Africa actually, or the African heads facilitating that repatriation move or whatever. I'm from Florida, U.S., by the way, born and raised here. I have visited Ghana one time, my only time on the continent. I was there for a month and a half. It didn't take me long to fall in love with Ghana and just feel very at home. And for some reason, while I was there, I knew I would be returning. And I also knew that I would actually be one of those as far as in the diaspora that have never lived on the continent, but would actually be living there at some point. And so that's been 2 years ago. And that thought, that dream, that hope has never, ever left me since I left the continent. I think of it every day.
Wow. Wow.
Every single day. But how to make that happen, how to sustain your life here in the U.S. And it's so expensive. Regardless of what individuals think on the continent, it's extremely expensive to live here in the West and the U.S. So how to sustain my life here and figure out how to travel back to Ghana and even move from one continent to another continent. It's it's a massive undertaking, and it would certainly help if the Ghanaian government, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, I know he has put it out there for us to return, but we need, an office or something that will streamline the process. We need a hand. We need some help in order to do that, because there are some of us here that really sincerely want to do that. I am one of those individuals. I'm not playing about it. I'm not, maybe this is what I want to do. This is what's been placed on my heart even before I came to the continent. And it was just sealed when I got there. And it has never left my mind.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
I don't, the only thing I can do and say, me as an individual, I stay connected with what's going on. That's why I listen to your show from time to time. I'm on WhatsApp groups. I'm in contact with other diasporas they have the same desire to move back. Some of us are in better positions than others. We have some that are retired military, or they have a nice big retirement savings saved up. And they can successfully do it because they can pull from their American dollars in order to sustain themselves on the continent. That's not everybody's story, but that does not mean that the passion is any less, right?
Yeah.
We still want to come. We still want to come.
Yeah.
We just really, really pray and wish that the government heads would stop talking so much and actually put a plan in action. And I promise them that there are some of us that will, if we are given one step, we will take the other two steps. We will figure it out, but we need some help.
Can you, no, great point, Dimitra, and I'm glad that you have called in and sharing this to the world. Can you,
Mm-hmm.
if you say, yes, there are a ton of help that that would help you or as you return home, because
Mm-hmm.
as you rightly
Mm-hmm.
said, even Ghanaians
Mm-hmm.
or Africans who have traveled here, it takes us
Mm-hmm.
years to be able to go back home because we have to save up, right? It's not cheap to go
Sure.
to Ghana. You have to save up and all of that. So
Right.
if you were to get help, what can you tell me the most need that you think that African Americans would that would benefit most need that when provided would benefit African Americans or even diasporans as they return home?
Right. Right. It would be the same thing that they promised the slaves when they signed the Emancipation Proclamation, and in the West they released the slaves who were Africans, but who were enslaved. 40 acres and a mule.
Mm.
We never ever received it, and my belief is we never ever will.
Mm.
So if the government will, we won't. I mean, we're kidding ourselves. I mean, Black Americans are absolutely kidding themselves if they think that one day that this country, the United States, will grant us what they are owed to us. That will never happen. I don't see it in my lifetime. I don't see it in my children or my grandchildren's lifetime. Do you know why? Because that's not why they brought us here. They didn't bring us here, for us to obtain wealth. They brought us here for a reason. That reason has been accomplished. Okay. And a lot of us, our eyes are opening. We understand that. We see that. We know that. So if the government, if they would start with just a piece of land, just a place to come back, the piece of land would help. And then we figure out how to build on it. We figure out how to grow. I know everything grows in Africa. I was there. I saw it. We could figure out how to build. We could figure out how to grow our food. We could figure out the rest. But we need a starting point. We need a starting point. I know that there's I don't know if it's one or two chiefs that are in Ghana that they are giving away free land. But in essence, it comes with a price as well.
Have you?
But mm-hmm.
No, thank you for. I didn't mean to interject, but you mentioned land, and
Sure.
I'm going to address that in a little bit. What will be the next thing? The next
What would be
important
the
thing?
next?
Yeah, apart from land, what do you think will be the next key thing that if the government of Ghana or the government of Africa is able to provide you would help you guys a lot?
Maybe an office where they could connect us with an individual in a particular office for the diasporas, that they can kind of walk us through the process of being integrated into the culture. I'm not necessarily saying, money, although money would help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something would help.
Okay.
But if there was a contact, in an office, and it was, they connect us with the person. Something else. Those of us that really want to come, bring us over, put us in that office. Let us give us a job.
Yeah.
To help bring other diasporans over.
Wow.
Something like that. I don't know if they have thought of that. Because other Americans can communicate very well with other Americans. But just having, someone there basically that could mentor us or hold our hands and say, hey, this is what you need to do. I hear that as far as there's a particular a card that you need in order to, or to get your residency, to get your driver's license, and basic things to get us set up with basic things.
It's called the Ghana card.
The Ghana card,
yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Streamline that process of getting the Ghana card, getting our driver's license, getting, whatever it needs, the basic setup in order to start our lives.
You've made brilliant points, and the things that you've talked about really touches my heart, and And I think that for those who know the show and know me as an individual, this has been my call. This has been my cause for the past 6 years. I'll start with the point of money. Most African countries are struggling, politicians, individuals, but there are individuals, let me put it this way, individuals and organizations in African countries, let's zero in on Ghana because we're talking about Ghana, that are doing well. So one of the things that Africans can do, individual Africans can do is, if we can organize, if we can talk to a few of these rich folks, for example, someone like Dangote, the richest man in Africa, right? If you have a connection to him, and then a few millionaires that we know in Ghana, and say, hey, we approach them with a proposal and say, our brothers and sisters in America have gone through this. We want to bring them back home. We want to give them a safe passage or a convenient passage. We want you to sponsor about 10 African Americans who want to return home. Okay. And help us with a donation of $100,000. I know there are individuals and organizations in Africa, in Ghana right now, who can put their money forward. If we organize it and come up with a program and have some stakeholders, some very key stakeholders involved. And I think something like this has not been done yet. With the progressive mind show, our vision is to engage in some of these things. Okay, one. So right now, but for the government to literally give money to help you guys come home, or to give you money whilst you are there, is going to be difficult because African governments are struggling all over, right? But individuals and groups can take these initiatives, and it can be done. So great point. And we're working on it. We're going to add more juice to it. I know Carl is on the line, and he's going to give you a very great perspective as well. Now, the next thing you spoke about is land. You mentioned some kings offering land. I don't know how many kings in Africa offering land. I know Zambia. I've heard something like that in Zambia, but in Ghana, specifically the Volta region, a king came here last year. We brought a king last year to Chicago to honor Reverend Jesse Jackson, to honor African Americans, and to offer land, to apologize for slavery. He did all of that last year. We were the first to crown Reverend Jesse Jackson as an African chief. Hence, his title is the King of the African Diaspora, the first. This is the first time ever in the history of this country that a king from Ghana or an African country comes to the United States and welcomes African Americans, apologizes to slavery, and also offer them land. It's right now, it's live. It's in Ghana right now. If you go to the Anglo Kingdom, he has earmarked land that when you come, and if you go to that part of the country, the Anglo Kingdom, and if you're ready, let's connect after the show, and I'll point you, and you can go, and he will show you the land.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
And you said it's in the Volta region?
It's in the Volta region in the Anglo Kingdom.
Okay. Yes. I actually did travel to the Volta region while I was there. I went to 5 different regions. Volta region, absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous.
Absolutely. His name is, I mentioned his name earlier, King Yaho Tamaklo the Sixth. Okay. And so we have taken these steps. We started this last year, 2019. The program is called the Exchange. What I'm talking about is the Exchange ceremony program that we created in 2019, which is to bring us together to celebrate our culture through dance, our food, and our fashion. And we also give awards during this event. We started this in 2019 when it was 400 years, and it was also the year of the return. That was the first time Ghana has ever done something like that, which is called the Year of Return, right?
Year of Return, yes.
Exactly, which coincided with the 400 years. So we thought to start a movement so that every year we can come together to celebrate ourselves and also create a pathway to go to Africa for those who want to go. But then if you do go, how do we facilitate your movement and your stay in the country or in these countries of Africa in a way that will be convenient for you guys? So the government of Ghana is doing what he can. The last thing you mentioned is an office where people can go and you can get driver's license. So that is what the Office of the Diaspora Affairs is all about. And and that is the director we were going to speak to today. We were going he's the guy in charge of giving people dual citizenship and all of that. And I hear they just gave a bunch of people dual citizenship during this past December Afrochella year Beyond the Return.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. I did see that. I did see that really made my heart jump. I love that. That was awesome.
Exactly. So we were going to we're going to talk to him this evening. Hopefully, well, we due to unforeseen circumstances, we didn't have him, but we're hoping to get him very soon so he can update us on what has been done, some of the resources that have been put in place to facilitate your movement back to Ghana. So this should answer some of your questions and your curiosity. Like I said, we've already started a movement to make sure that you all have the land where you can call your home.
Yes. Be willing to work with whoever to help bring others. That is my desire. I feel like that's something that, you know, God is going to call me to do. This is not just about me. You know what I want? I mean, I want all that want to come back. If that is their desire, if they feel that calling like I do so strongly, I would absolutely be willing to work with whomever in Ghana to assist other African Americans or Caribbean American, Caribbean diasporans to come back. I would absolutely love to do something like that. My profession here is in social services. I've been in social services over 20 plus years. So it's what I enjoy doing, and you know, doing something like that would be my life calling. I would absolutely love to do it. So, but I want to, you know, I need to be able to do it myself first so I can assist others or, you know, assist others with me.
Right. So no, that's a great point. And that's what we are on.
If that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. And so we're going to be working together after this show. And actually another point I wanted to make when you during your first presentation is we're going to be talking to a lady.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello. I think we lost connection to. Hello, can you hear me?
I think it went out. You can't hear me, or I can't hear you.
Yeah.
I'll put it like that. You.
Can anybody hear me?
Hear you.
Okay, so if anyone can hear me, let me know, because I'm not sure. I can hear myself. Naila, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please put a note. Please let me know if you're watching us live. Just put a comment that you can hear me, because I want to make sure. Okay, great. So John can hear me. John put his comment there. So let me see here. I think that the caller, Dimitra, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I think we had a technical issue, so you can ring back if you have time, so we can you know, continue the conversation. You were making very brilliant points, and I love your heart for the things that you were doing. Tugby just got coronated in the Volta region. So if you know Mr. Pugh, he's no longer Mr. Pugh. He is Tugby, which means king. Like I said, remember, Tugby stands for king. Again, the British changed it, or brought a division between king and chief. They gave us chief. We didn't have chief before. And so it was just king. But for the sake of the conversation and for the sake of what everybody is used to, we'll just call it chief. We had small kings, sub kings, and the big kings, right? But the whole thing has been changed centuries ago. It was, but now we have chiefs and kings. So we'll just, for the context of what we're talking about, we'll stay with chief. So he is Togbi Koi now. All right. If you see him and you greet him, you have to bow a little bit. You know, that's how we greet our kings back in Africa. He says the Diaspora African Forum, Dr. Erica Bennett, located at the Du Bois Center, in Ghana. I think this is in reference to what Dimitra was talking about in regards to facilitations or resources that can help African Americans navigate the system. I think that's what Koi meant. He said she can provide in the ground support. Okay, so her name is Dr. Erica Bennett. Dimitra, we'll connect later. There'll be plenty of, yes, I think the call dropped, Dimitra. That's what happened. So if you want to ring back, anybody wants to ring in, please, the number is 815-277-5047. If you want to ring and share your idea, share your comments, your opinion on the return back to Ghana, the whole conversation about the return, the year of return, beyond the return. What do African Americans need when they go back to Africa? What kind of support and help do they need from the government, from the people, from local organizations, religious bodies, to make them feel at home for those who want to return and for even those who want to visit? Please feel free to share your comments, your opinions. For those who have been, you can ring in and share your experience as well. This is a whole movement, and we encourage our brothers and sisters who have not yet been to take the chance to go see Mother Africa. I must say that the exchange ceremony is coming on live this year, June 24th. June 24th is, the selected date. We're bringing Black people across the globe. There are businessmen that are coming as well. This year, we're going to have 10 kings who are coming from Ghana alone. Part of the reason we're doing this is that we want future generations to see their heritage, to look at these royals coming to Chicago and to say, this is my lineage, this is my heritage, this is where I belong. It gives them a sense of pride, a sense of confidence, a sense of belonging. We need to have our kids and the young ones see who they are, other than what has been told them, other than the negative and the lies that has been told them. And so, and again, the kings are not just coming just for the show of it, but they're coming to restore that which has been long taken away from our brothers and sisters. They're coming to restore the royalty and the culture that was stripped from our brothers and sisters. So this year is going to be magnificent. The Friday will be a historic panel discussion of that would comprise of mental health, our history, and our culture. So that will be the Friday night. That will be the 23rd of January. And then 24th is the exchange itself, where we'll have 5 communities that represent the African diaspora. Each will take turn on stage to perform a peculiar dance to their community, and will also engage in a cultural fashion show. There's going to be meals from all the diaspora communities, and then there's going to be a crowning of a king and a queen. In addition to that, the honorees that we're going to be honoring this year are going to be given royal robes from the king's kingdom. This is how we restore the royalty. This is how we restore the culture. And this is how we instill back that which was taken away from us. This is how we heal. This is how we connect the two worlds. And so June 24th of this year, the exchange ceremony is going to be on another level. Save the dates, reserve that moment, invite friends from all over. Let's converge in Chicago and let's celebrate the Black culture. Let's celebrate Africans. Let's celebrate us. Humanity, celebrating humanity through culture is what we're doing. Bringing the diaspora together to heal and to begin to appreciate our uniqueness and our togetherness in our heritage is what all this is about. Our future generation need to be given a direction. They need to be shown where they belong and who they are, and not just what has been sold to them over the years, which is causing them to act in negative ways on us on the streets of America. Yes, we do have issues in Africa as well, but when you look at some of the fundamental problems that has caused our youth in America, both men and women, to deviate from their natural given purpose, you know that what has been missing, you can deduce, you can feel that what has been missing is the culture and the royalty. And that is what we intend to restore by bringing our kings here. Also, remember the part of our story as part of the slave story, slave trade story, part of our separation as Black people was also, we can also attribute part of, I mean, we can attribute part of our separation to the contribution of our kings and our traditional rulers in conniving with Europeans. So if we are to reconnect, if we are to bridge the gap and heal, the most important figures or stakeholder figures and individuals in all of this is our kings, our traditional rulers in Africa, leading the conversation. And we know that now all African Americans or Caribbeans can go to Africa and be part of the culture and feel the culture and go through it and get their royalty restored. And so we know not all of you can go there. There are millions of us. So why not bring our kings here? They're going to journey all the way from from Ghana, Africa, here to do the honoring, the restoration, and bringing back our people to their rightful land, which is Africa, Ghana to be specific. And so watch, please save the dates. June 24th this year is tied with Juneteenth, so we can celebrate moving forward together. This is coming from John Oben. He says the government back home can do a lot for the African Americans who are willing to return home. For those interested in business, give them tax break, give them contracts, give them land with discounts so they can acquire and do agriculture, build factories and more. So they can acquire and do agriculture, build factories and more. Build schools, hospitals. A lot of them want to do that, like Demetrius was saying. Uh, John continues to say, let us have one passport across Africa to facilitate movement across all African countries. I thank the government of Ghana and other governments across Africa for the steps taken so far towards this great dream. Thank you so much, Brother John, for always coming through with powerful contributions. Naila says, for more information about the updates for the exchange ceremony, go to theexchangeceremony.com. Thank you so much, Naila. Theexchangeceremony.com for more information. We'll be updating it very soon. The save the date is June 23rd, June 25th, and then June 24th. Crowning of both king and queen will be the June 24th. Thank you so much for clarifying that. So June 23rd is the panel discussion of our history, our culture, and mental health. Then June 24th is the coronation of the king and queen and the exchange, the cultural performances, and all of the beautiful stuff, the honoring, the royalty, the robe, all of that. And then the 25th, which is a Sunday, we're going to have the business conference. This is where African American business folks would meet African business folks, both young and old, to see how we can put our finances together. And of course, that opportunity is open to everybody. American businessmen, women who want to invest in Africa. We're bringing to your doorstep people who have done business or who are doing business and are successful, to merge with you, to share ideas on how we can put our resources together. It's not just doing business in Ghana, but how can businessmen in Ghana or Africa invest here in Chicago as well? There are a ton of investment opportunities. So the 25th of June, which is a Sunday, the day after we've had all the celebration and bonded, then we sit down and do real-time business. So keep these dates as we roll, and you'll be seeing the marketing materials or promotional materials in this regard as we go along. Yes, sir. Definitely want to connect later. Thank you so much again. And I think, John, we read your points, right? Okay. Thank you for sending that in. All right, we're just going to save this on here for now. The time is 5:30 Central Time. And to be honest, we did not plan to do this show. Today is just we literally decided to go this tangent because we our guest couldn't make it into the studio, and so if we didn't provide an information to the best of our ability, if we were not accurate in providing certain information, please forgive us because we did not really prepare to come on here to but we here any regardless, and so take note of the dates, our website, and we will be sending more information on our social media pages as well. Mike LA says, great show. Thank you, Mike, wherever you are. Thank you for chiming in and for being part of the conversation. The number is 815-277-5047. And there was a point that John made in his submission that I wanted to look at. He says, give them contracts. And I wanted to dive in on this point a little bit. It's very, very, very important. If you look at folks who are mining gold and engaging in any type of mining in Africa, again, I'll say Ghana. The reason why I use that interchangeably, is because it's one thing. Ghana is in Africa. Several countries. I'm from Ghana, so it's comfortable and easier for me to speak on issues of Ghana because I know it somewhat. And so contract is giving African American businessmen contract is super, super important. Giving them priorities. African governments, African businessmen prioritizing African American business folks as bilateral or international partners, prioritizing them as international partners, super, super important. It's not like they don't have the money. It's not like they don't have the intelligence. I think what is missing is the awareness. I think African leaders, businessmen are not necessarily aware of the genuineness, of the greatness, of the resources that are in the African American community here in America. And I think that is what is missing. And so that is why the platform we're creating is super, super important to not just celebrate culturally, but to connect and to make some of these opportunities available to African businessmen who can provide contracts and get into bilateral agreement and partnership with business folks within the African American community, so we can all enjoy the African resources together. All right. Well, Naila says the truth hurts because we are not getting our reparations. Yeah, Naila, thanks for bringing in that comment. See, we have another. Coy says, can we invite members of the Illinois Legislative Black Caucuses next week to talk about the recent visits to Ghana? Yes, Togby, you can do so. Next week, Tuesday, from 6 to 7 p.m. We want to make that time available to you guys to come and talk about your experience. So we're here. Let's communicate after the show. Let's make that happen. Coming Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. We'll be more than happy to do so. So, well, that said, if anybody has any other comment, please bring it in. We would like to wrap up the conversation already and prepare for Tuesday. If anybody wants to call in, the number is on the screen. It's 815-277-5047. And as we wrap the brief discussion this evening, I want to remind you all that the Progressive Mind Show is a 501c3 platform. Your contribution to us go a long way in supporting us in helping to sustain the weekly programs. We're here every Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. and on Sundays from 4 to 6 Central Time, 6 to 8 p.m. Central. On Tuesdays, 4 to 6 p.m. Central on Sundays. Again, our production and overhead is quite cumbersome. And so your support in sustaining us is very much needed. So visit our website, theprogressivemindshow.com, to help contribute, so we can keep this programming going. Very, very, very important. And we have follow the Progressive Mind Show to stay connected. On our YouTube page, it is the Progressive Minds Show. If you go to YouTube, the Progressive Minds plural show. On Facebook is Progressive Minds, Progressive Minds, and always look out for the yellow logo. Right? On Instagram is the Progressive Minds Show. And then Twitter, if you type the Progressive Minds Show, it should come up. On LinkedIn, it's the Progressive Minds Show as well. Just make sure that if you go on YouTube, just don't watch the show, like it, subscribe, and recommend it to a friend. And that's how we can increase our message. And one key thing that I also want to mention is that once you are on there on the YouTube page, turn on the notifications. So anytime we come live, you can be connected and be part of the community building agenda. John says coming soon. John, what is the coming soon? Is it you coming on the show soon, or clarify, John? Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m. It's right on the screen. Thank you again, Naila, for supporting this afternoon segment. Well, we'll bring the conversation to an end. This episode of discussing the year of return, the year of return and beyond. I think that even though we didn't have our guests to engage in some of the intricacies of the matter, we have been able to touch on a few things that are necessary when we are returning, when we are looking at beyond the return, when we are looking at our connection as a people, as African diasporans. Your support is so much needed in areas of grant writing. Any way you can support the Progressive Mind Show to keep this vision going, please reach out to us. info.progressiveminds@gmail.com. info.progressiveminds@gmail.com. If you go to Instagram and you look up our page, you would go to our Instagram page, you can send us a message, and then definitely we can get connected that way. If you go on our website as well, you can contact us. We will stay in touch so we can build our communities together. Well, that said, okay, so let me read John's comment. He says, we will bring a medical doctor who just completed a trip to Ghana. He and his team focus on on healing. Okay, worsening wounds treatment. That's a great point. I need to stress this. He and his team focused on worsening wounds treatment. They went to the interior of the country and did a great job helping people with wounds. We will bring him to the show to share the experience. Watch out for this great experience. Great things are happening to Ghana and in Africa. Great things will be happening in other African countries: Benin, Togo, Cameroon, Nigeria, Sub-Saharan Africa will rise. They will be inviting and welcoming African Americans home and giving them the support, including land, for them to thrive on the lands of Africa. My brother John, thank you so much. That said, there was a point that I wanted to make earlier that I forgot. Thank God it's come to me. There is a lady that we're going to be getting on the show. She's in Ghana, and her job is to set up a company. She has a company, and what she does is to help diasporans integrate in the system. Be it you looking for a job or trying to do a business or even investment, or just contributing as a benevolent in the country, whatever it is that you want to get, driver's license, any other need of the diasporans back in Ghana, she gives you the guide. More importantly, buying property, she serves as the conduit that you can channel your services through in order not to get duped or not to get disappointed. Because the truth of the matter is that some people have gotten disappointed in Ghana through other people who have been trying to game the system or take advantage. In every society, you have these. And so we're going to bring her on the show to talk about what she's doing and how she's helping diasporans settle or integrate or just transition or even visit Ghana and other African countries successfully. So great things, more great things are coming on the show. And that's why we encourage you to be part. We can't do this by ourselves. Your help is much needed in any way, be it finance, prayer, technical support, skills, any way, even recommending people who can support us, right? Sharing our post and our message on social media. These are the various ways that you can help Progressive Minds grow and achieve in our community building agenda. Remember that we come here and hold conversations that can make our communities better, that can grow people, that will provide voice to the voiceless, in addition to our connection of the diaspora message. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We really appreciate your time. Naila, for your contribution and support. Togbi, Koi Pew, Akbanau, and Dimitra Dresskill. Thank you so much for your contribution to this evening's show. John, Oben, my brother, God richly bless you always for being a supporter of this great platform. We are the number one community building show in the entire world, and we encourage that you join us and be part of this movement. Well, my co-host Angie couldn't make it today. Tuesday, 6 p.m. She will be here. And on behalf of the team here that have been working tirelessly to keep the Progressive Mind show going, we really appreciate you. God bless you. There's more to come. Let's keep working. On behalf of the team, once again, thank you all for joining this evening episode. We'll be back next week, next week's Sunday, but this coming Tuesday, 6 p.m., make a date with us. There's something interesting coming up. And then Sunday at 4 p.m. We'll see if we can rearrange Director Akwesi Ewa Ababio. Okay. Let me get in this message. Let me respond to it real quick. Mr. Akwesi Ewa Ababio, aka Dallas, Director of the Diaspora at the President's Office in Ghana. Hopefully, we can get him here next week, Sunday at 4 p.m. Remember, to whom much is given, much is required. I have been your host and will always be your host and your servant, Aline Ko. See you Tuesday, 6 p.m. God bless. Bye-bye. Have a good evening. Oh, I know the Chiefs are playing. There's football. There's a football going, right? I hear Kansas Chiefs and some people are playing this evening. I don't follow football too much, but if you're watching American football, enjoy your game. All right. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.